Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. I'm here at Disneyland. We're gonna check out Galaxy's Edge for the first time a little bit later today. I'm sure you've already seen that video. The very great Morgan Funder, aka The Wire, is also here.
Hello.
And holding my camera right now is my very lovely girlfriend, Kitty. Say hi, Kitty.
Hello, I'm a person.
So like I said, we're gonna see Galaxy's Edge a little later today, but Morgan, did you know they still have a second park here? Did you know that they have another park here in this resort? I had no idea. I thought it was just like all of it was Star Wars now.
Well, yeah. I mean, Galaxy's Edge is everything.
Right, of course.
Yes.
But turns out there is a whole other park with no Galaxy's Edge. Completely Galaxy's Edgeless. I know. Here, turn around, get a shot of it. It's right over there. Disney California Adventure. Can you believe it? I know. She's dead. Anyway, Disney has been doing everything they can in the cheapest way possible to remind people that DCA still exists, and we're gonna— zombie!
I was lied to that this would be a Disney Quest vlog.
And we're gonna check out some of the things there. Oh God, she's got the face to— Just look at how many people are being reminded that DCA exists. Just look at all these crowds of people who need no such reminder that there is such a park as DCA. It's just chaotic, ladies and gentlemen. All these people. There's a guy in a green shirt, for God's sake. A whopping 5-minute wait for Mission Breakout. 5 whole minutes. Thanos really did snap everyone out of existence. We are joined by a wild Garrett right here.
I'm wild.
You might remember him from the Wonder Park vlog. Still having sweaty nightmares about that. Speaking of sweat, it is a warm day today, and there are shockingly few people.
From what I've heard, Galaxy's Edge is busy, but DCA and Disneyland have been remarkably 90s.
When I first moved to LA in 2008, like one of my first major purchases was a Disneyland annual pass. This was before they had monthly payments, and you could go in like mid-January or mid-September, early October. The park would just be dead and everything would be a walk-on. And ever since they introduced monthly payments, like that's gone. Like I was here just a month or so ago and it was crowded. And I just thought, well, there's no such thing as an off-season anymore, but I guess there is if you open Galaxy's Edge and you hype it for months like it's gonna be the most crowded time ever, stay the hell away from the park, and then everyone stays away from the park, oddly enough. So let's check out some of the stuff DCA has very cheaply added to this park. Now, Mickey's PhilharMagic opened at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World in 2003.
When the Disney characters you love come together, it's magic. But when they come together with classic music and movie moments you adore, it's PhilharMagic.
Longtime viewers might remember that way back in my first season when I did the top 11 Florida attractions not in California, Mickey's PhilharMagic was my number 4.
But did they have to call it Mickey's PhilharMagic? Mickey's only in it for like 3 seconds.
Pretty much all the entries on that countdown are irrelevant now because they've either come here or they've closed over there, or there's some stuff that's closed over here that I should add to that list, like Tower of Terror, but
Muppet Vision.
Yeah, Muppet Vision, absolutely, which PhilharMagic has taken the space of. I mean, it's no Muppet Vision, but it'll do in a pinch.
Gee, wouldn't it be weird if there was some sort of property in Florida that actually helped Star Wars a lot? They even had an episode of Star Wars, but for some reason they're hinting very heavily they'll close it to make way for Star Wars. That's what happens when you don't drink Wilkins coffee, kids. Muppet Vision dies.
You know, attractions that don't drink Wilkins coffee just blow up sometimes.
Hey, Tower of Terror, do you like Wilkins coffee?
Never heard of it.
And for your convenience, against this blank blue wall, you can chroma key any attraction you want. Memories. I'm old.
That's not Will Smith. 0 stars.
Ah, dang it, it's sold out. I guess we gotta go home. I mean, I knew Satan worked in the recording industry, but I didn't know he was an artist. And just look how many people want to experience Mickey's PhilharMagic on the West Coast finally. I mean, as much as I love PhilharMagic and as much as I'm glad that it's finally on the West Coast now so I can see it whenever I want, it is pretty cheap. They already had the theater space. It couldn't have taken that much money to just import the film. They're just using the same 3D glasses from Toy Story Mania.
I bet they found a box somewhere.
I think these are from Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Probably.
Dr. Nigel Channing invented these.
It's a tribute to all IP, but mostly Donald Duck.
See, they say it's Mickey's PhilharMagic, but actually it's Rizzo's PhilharMagic, because they're tourists. What do they know? We are joined by a Dave.
Just one of me.
All of us but Dave just saw Mickey's PhilharMagic here at the Sunset Showcase Theater.
And I saw it a few days ago.
Cool.
So.
They showed the film on a very small portion of the screen.
This wide aspect ratio squashed with letterbox. It is kind of the equivalent of, you know, watching Lawrence of Arabia on an iPhone.
To really appreciate it, you have to see it in the widescreen. Let me just... Oh yeah, oh, those are camels. That's cool.
Actually, you know what it reminded me most of? The VHS release of MST3K the movie, because they didn't want to letterbox it and they didn't want to pan and scan it. So instead, there's just a lot more black space below Mike and the bots. In this case, there's just a lot more black space above the screen for the wider scenes.
There, it's done. What do you think?
For some of the sequences, they did use the side screens that used to, you know, explode during Muppet Vision. Those side screens are not made for the immersive wraparound screen that Florida screens are made for, so the effect only kind of works. What I'm told is that this is the film print from, I think, Paris?
Yeah, Discoveryland,
where they put this in their Captain EO theater.
Very quaint looking 2003 era CGI by modern standards. Most of the characters look very claymation-y. Aladdin and Jasmine looked like Aardman characters.
To be fair, I'd be much more interested in claymation remakes of all the Renaissance movies than live-action remakes of all the Renaissance movies.
That CGI Simba holds up so much better than that awful cat effect that was in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
We didn't get any water effects.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I got one whole drop. And they say California's not in a drought anymore.
I did not feel a single drop, so maybe it's very selective as to which ones work. They did use a bit of the original recording of Be Our Guest for the original version of that scene where it was going to be more Reese in the chair instead of Belle.
Tonight you'll prop your feet up, but for now let's eat up, be our guest. Tonight you'll prop your feet up, but for now, sir, eat up, be our guest.
Also in that original recording, Lumiere says, "Tie your napkin round your neck, monsieur, and we provide the rest," as opposed to Cherie. But here it's just Cherie, so again, very selective. I'd never noticed that before. I thought they didn't have the Donald Duck butt animatronic at all. They kind of have it, and it kind of like wiggles in the back a little, but it doesn't do the fall at the end. There's a curtain on it that just closes and you hear it fall.
They're making literal friggin' ears out of his butt now.
Seriously, why does everyone keep calling me an asshat?
Are those people who get those gonna be super disappointed?
The Donald Butt fandom is really, really pissed off at this version of the show.
That's what they had to do to keep Rocket Man from getting an NC-17, is cut Donald's butt entirely.
If this is a new permanent home for PhilharMagic, it's possible that eventually we'll get the fully functional Donald animatronic.
I mean,
it's
we'll
also
see.
possible we won't.
We rag on them for being cheap, but the fact is they spent so much money on Galaxy's Edge and went really over budget with it, from what I understand.
I keep expecting like Sweetums to run into the theater like a month later and be like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to catch my favorite show."
Sweetums is always just showing up late, chasing after cars, you know.
Chasing after Cars Land. That's what they should do. Just have Sweetums chasing after every car on Radiator
I want to come with you guys!
I want to wait for me! I want to ride in a race too! So PhilharMagic was kind of a last-minute addition to this summer's offerings at DCA. This was a last-second announcement. They are temporarily bringing back the original Soarin Over California, just in the month of June, so by the time you see this vlog, it'll probably already be gone. Sorry about that.
And I am having all of the feels because this is still my favorite thing DCA has ever done.
You know, Soarin' Around the World is perfect for Epcot. Here, I think I kind of would have preferred to keep the original Soarin' Over California because it is still called Disney's California Adventure. I know I make fun of people who are like, oh, theming is love, theming is life, but theming is still nice, you know? It's not nothing. This month of June alone, all is right with the universe. We have Soarin' Over California, Epcot has Soarin' Around the World. Let's do the original Soarin' Over California, possibly for one last time ever.
Excelsior!
Nice work, pal.
Excalibur! I would love it if in the queue they have the same like travel by map animation they have in Soarin' Around the World, but it's just various lines to and from places in California. It's
With
just over,
live traffic updates.
over a very small map. Well, I am shocked and mortified. Apparently this ride hates the Jews. On that screen it just said, yo, Semite.
This is better.
It's official, this is better. For one simple reason, if nothing else. Real locations, not just a bunch of CGI. The Taj Mahal sequence in Soarin' Around the World, they couldn't get permission to shoot there. That's entirely CGI.
I was getting emotional watching it.
As soon as I smelled the oranges again, I could just feel tears coming in my eyes.
The moment that ride started and we hear Patrick Warburton tell us we're going up, and you see the Golden Gate Bridge for the first time and hear the Jerry Goldsmith score, just the hairs on my arm were just on end. I could feel the chills running down my neck.
It's so sincere and so corny and so unapologetic about how corny it is, and the score's amazing.
It's notable that Jerry Goldsmith cried the first time he experienced this attraction.
And then he famously agreed to do the score for free because he just heard it instantly in his head. He knew what he wanted it to be, and he's like, I'll do it for free. I will underbid everyone else. You have to let me do this. So that score is one of the very few like shreds of, for lack of a better term, purity in these parks. From concept to execution, very little tinkering.
It's just wonderful having it back. It's our last remnant of pre-BoJack Horseman Michael Eisner. If you didn't know, he's the guy golfing in Palm Desert. He hits the golf ball. That's Michael Eisner.
It is the perfect send-off to his legacy that he hits the golf ball and gets polite golf claps.
Yeah, if that ain't a summary of his entire career, I don't know what the hell is. And at no point does he awkwardly say, hello.
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 Hello?
They keep a focus on the people in every scene. It's never just flying over a location. There's always some sort of human element. I had completely forgotten about the rock climbers in the Yosemite scene, where you can actually see them sort of bouncing back and forth down the rock.
That Eiffel Tower shot in Soarin' Around the World is cool, but it doesn't feel like you're really gliding. It feels like you're on a drone camera. If you are hang gliding over all these places, this is what you would see. This is the real California.
The only area, I think, in which Soarin' Around the World improves on its predecessor is the transitions. That's literally it. Like if they came up with a way to do cool transitions like that in this version, it would be perfect.
I actually like the jump cuts more than the transitions in Soarin' Over the World. I find those transitions more distracting than just cutting on a powerful chord.
Well, what I like about the transitions in Around the World is they're clever without ever going full Home Improvement.
Even if it's a temporary and it's a reopening, it's nice having an attraction here that isn't an IP.
Tinkerbell is in it. That's the closest it comes to being an IP ride. But
Well, it ends at Disneyland, but it ends at like 1999 Disneyland. It's a time capsule.
Sometimes that's all you need, just a simple, nice little trip.
As much as I love Disney parks for their exotic looks at fantasy worlds, it was really cool to have this piece of realism in the park that still managed to be entertaining and immersive and exciting in a way that a local museum exhibit might not manage to be, but still real in a way that most Disney attractions don't manage to be.
There are two IMAX theaters in
that is true.
So
That
one
is
side
true.
could be Soarin' Over the World, and the other side could be
This
California.
ride is so good, it justifies the entire California theme park concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Soarin' Around the World is very reductive. It's giving you the tourism look at just famous landmarks you already know about from places you're never actually going to visit. Soarin Over California is much more expansive in that it broadens your horizons about the full variety that this state has to offer.
As much as I love Guardians and Ariel and Buena Vista Street and Grizzly to an extent, this ride is still the saving grace of California Adventure.
This is lightning in a bottle, and they can't do it twice.
By the time you see this video, it will be gone already and replaced with Soarin' Around the World again, and it's really a shame. But having said all that, shockingly few black and white naked tits, so 0 stars. Sure, the other park has the Millennium Falcon, but we got the Millennium Tree! It's a piece of junk. DCA has a lot fewer blackout dates, but Disneyland Park has a lot more of them. Like if you've got a SoCal annual pass, basically all of June is blocked out for Disneyland Park. So that's part of this video, is just asking, well, if you can go to DCA but not Disneyland Park, what is waiting there for you?
We just got on Grizzly River Run in a 5-minute wait. Like, it's the hottest day in ages and nobody wanted to ride the water ride because nobody's here. We finally have an off season again, and it's the peakest of peak summer month is now in off season.
We just gotta keep on building more Star Wars lands and it'll be fine. The parks will just be...
Do it for the children!
The parks will just be empty forever. It is Monday, June 17th. We're back here at DCA. Last time we were here in this video, we had to run off and get to Galaxy's Edge, so we didn't have time for the other 2 cheap things that DCA has added this summer. 2 new rides opening at Pixar Pier, and you'll never believe this. You're gonna wanna sit down for this. This is the most mind-blowing info I will ever present to you in the history of the cosmos. The 2 new rides opening at Pixar Pier are both spinny things! Joining me today is Dave.
Hi, I'm joining today. I'm here a lot.
And here we have Jessie's Critter Carousel, ladies and gentlemen. A ride I am struggling to form an opinion about. We are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, but then so is Disney.
They're playing the sad Sarah McLachlan song from the movie, reminding us that if we don't adopt these critters, they will all be murdered.
He's a rider in the rain. He's a rider in the rain.
Will DCA ever stop telling kids that they are skunks? And that was Jessie's Critter Carousel, DCA's token merry-go-round. It went round, it was merry. What more can you say about it? And now I'm gonna make my sisters ride it 9 times in a row. Not that Baby Forky isn't cute or anything, but really not a useful fork. So over here behind this work wall, we got the Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind, which is clearly not just a repainted Flix Flyers, and how dare you make such unfounded allegations? I don't have to stand for this.
I'm talking about your brain.
The Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind is now open. So this space was originally the Maliboomer when this first opened in 2001. Basically just Tower of Terror, except it went up really fast instead of down really fast. It was very cheap. For a while, this was just nothing. Like, they tore down the Maliboomer before they decided what they were going to replace it with. You know, it strains credulity enough as it is that Toy Story, The Incredibles, and Inside Out are all just hanging out at the same pier together. But since Inside Out is supposed to take entirely inside little Riley's brain, does that mean Incredibles and Toy Story just take place inside her brain too? Like, is she the Tommy Westphall of the Pixar universe? That's a new theory, and if you click this video right here, I will explain it in greater detail. Man, Disney bought South Park too? They are just relentless. So from here in the line, we've been hearing the audio from the ride, and it's a spoken thing between Joy, Disgust, and Bing Bong, even though Bing Bong's dead. Now, they clearly couldn't get Amy Poehler, which is kind of expected. They couldn't get Mindy Kaling, which is also kind of expected. But they also couldn't get Richard Kind. It is very clearly not Richard Kind doing the voice of Bing Bong. That is a special kind of cheap. They literally afforded him to promote this park when it first opened.
That's what I love about this place. It's very accommodating. You need some place to go, boom, they send you a shuttle.
don't think this is a shuttle.
DCA 1.0, I thought, was as cheap as you can get, and even they could afford Richard Kind to promote it.
They got his evil twin, Richard Mean.
I think we found the new Trump lawnmower meme. All right, we got Sadness, which is not exactly what I go to DCA for, but for years, I guess it was. All right, that was the Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind. You'll never believe it. We got into a little thing, and then it spun around for a few minutes. I know. It's basically Flix Flyers all over again, and as such, you know, it's fine. If the line's not too long, check it out. No one is the original voice. Like, they didn't even get Phyllis Smith for this. And if you're not getting Phyllis Smith, that's a choice.
Flix Flyers was nothing to write home about, but you know, it kind of had this charm to it where it felt like you were a bug size. I guess it's pretty enough. I guess it's a fine little time waster.
The Inside Out ride should preferably be a dark ride where you like walk inside a brain. But this ride is outside, so is the implication that all of outdoors is all in Riley's imagination? Am I just a figment of Riley's imagination? Am I even real? Are you real? Is anything real? Is any of this real?
This video was made possible by the very generous contributions to my Patreon. If you'd like to watch us blather about this stuff even more, you too can pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/TonyGoldmark for an exclusive extended cut of this vlog with 8 extra minutes. Special thanks to all my patrons, and huge special thanks in particular to Mark Aquino, Bennett Ballard, Ryan Enos, Noah Fine, Wesley Fox, Michael Hamilton, Jacob Harris, Houston Housley, Morgan Kellis, John Curick, Hannah Martin, Landon McAfee, Kate Quinn, Chris Reyna, Amy Scott, Brett Trail, and Ed Vieira. Extra huge special thanks to Keith Baggs, super extra huge special thanks to Ryan Walterson, and super duper extra huge special thanks to executive producers Joe Goldmark and Edgar Barocho. If I mispronounced anyone's name, please send me a message letting me know. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
And that's DCA for you. It still exists. You can't prove it doesn't. End of video.